The next thing we're going to talk about is office manager, and then admin assistants, office executive assistants, however you want to call it. We're going to talk all about that in this video. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about is an office. Now, some of you may decide that you want to work from home. That's going to cut a lot of costs out. Some of you that have kids and a wife, and you just can't work from home. I understand if you want to get office space. What I do recommend doing is finding the cheapest office space that you possibly can. A lot of people try to sell you on getting office space with your board, with your name outside, and they're like, "Oh, that's great, marketing for your company and stuff." Guys, the internet's where you're going to do most of your marketing. Most people are going to find you from Google, or you're going to be out doing door knocking. Most people aren't going to drive by and see your $1,800 a month office and be like, "Oh, I need a new roof today. Let me call these guys." I'm not going to say you won't get leads from that, but that is a traditional marketing thing that you need to do years down the road. What you need to do now is cut costs, keep it cheap, and just find somewhere you can work from. I personally like to work from home. I have no problem working from my house. For me, it's no big deal. Like I said, the way our company's built, I can go live in Mexico, work from my laptop and my phone. I work from home. I work from coffee shops. Sometimes I'll get a co-working space. Point is, I work very efficiently on my own. Some people like to have an office space where their employees come to so they can work together. And I totally understand the benefits of your team coming to work together, because doing a lot of times the Zoom meetings and stuff like that, you're talking over each other and stuff. It's tough. But guys, if you can afford to do it right when you get started, I strongly recommend finding the cheapest place you can do it. I'm going to give you a couple of tidbits of information that you may not know that will give you kind of a nudge in the right direction. A lot of times at your Chamber of Commerce, they will allow you to use their office space if you join the chamber, especially if you're wanting to have a strong residential presence. Joining the local Chamber of Commerce is a great idea. And a lot of times with your membership, they're going to allow you to use their office space. So you can do it. You can't use it every day for your office space, but a meeting once a week or a meeting twice a week with your team or something like that, you can totally do. Guys, you can also use coffee shops. You can use restaurants. Obviously, you're having to pay for food, but you got to eat while you're there anyway. I recommend not necessarily paying for all your employees when you first start, but a lot of places are going to allow you to have meetings, while you're eating. Coffee shops is a great place for that. I'm sure you know that, but that's just another option for you. Another option are libraries. A lot of libraries have private rooms that you can go into. Maybe grab a couple of books. Maybe look like it's not a meeting all the time. The point is that like a lot of libraries are fairly empty these days because more people are getting their assets and their reading material and stuff like that from the internet. So the libraries are available. We've had many business meetings at our local library when we were running our residential part of the roofing company. And a lot of times they just want people in there. So until they kick you out, I would take advantage of their generosity. And if you're being a nuisance, maybe you have to look for somewhere else. The final place that you can do it for relatively cheap is a co-working space. And guess what? You're about to see me come from behind the camera, and you're going to see where I'm actually shooting this from. All right, let's go. So this is the co-working space. Yeah, there's our cameras here, our lights, and this is the co-working space. And there's my dog Boogie, ready for me to get finished. And this is our co-working space that we work from. So when I'm in town, I work from this co-working space. We pay $100 a month for this co-working space. We get our mail delivered here, and then when we have any meetings and stuff like that, we either do it at a coffee shop or we come here to the office. Hopefully you can still see me. And this originally was an office. We were actually paying $400 a month when we had an office manager and an admin assistant that was working for us, and they actually worked in this office, so we paid $400 a month for it. And this was our office originally, but we decided after we moved over to do commercial and more government work that we were going to quit having an office staff. So this is what kind of a co-working space looks like, and something that you may be interested in doing for your business. And like I said, we only spend $100 a month for it right now. All right, I'm gonna put you back down and get back into my chair. And lay There we go. That looks about right. So I don't have a big production team. I'm doing this on a tight budget because that's what we do, our business, right? So I just wanted you guys to see kind of what we had going on and how we run our business with our office space. Like I said, it's $100 a month. We got all of our mail delivered here. It doesn't have to get delivered to our house, and it gives us a place where we can meet. We got internet, there's coffee. For $100 a month, you just can't really beat it. Okay, next thing we're talking about is an office manager and admin assistant. Now, guys, when you get ready to hire an office manager, this is the way I recommend you guys running your business before you start hiring these other people. And again, this is stuff I wish I would have known. I want you to work as hard as you can to where the point is you cannot possibly bring anyone up, or you can't possibly do any more work without bringing someone else on. That goes for your sales, that goes for an admin assistant, goes for an office manager. Most likely your first hire is going to be either a production manager or an office manager, one of the two. I don't recommend bringing in extra salespeople. I would say support is probably where you're going to need more people, unless you're just really bad at sales and you need somebody to help you on the sales side. But I want you to work to the point to where I don't want you to have a nervous breakdown, okay? Work less, make more money, less stress. That's not what I'm asking you to do. But I want you to get overwhelmed in one area, and then that's what you hire someone for. So if you're overwhelmed on the office manager side and you need somebody to help you with your admin work and stuff like that, that should be your first hire. But it only is when you can't do it yourself. Most of you are just like we were. Guys, we started with $10,000. Me and my partner invested $5,000 each. That's how we started our business. We went out and knocked on doors. We signed all of our contracts. We got our subcontractors out there. We managed the job. That's how we very first started, okay? That's how most every roofing company starts. So before you hire an office manager, unless you have a large budget to get started with, I recommend just working your ass off until you get to the point where you just really need that person. Again, that's whether it's sales, production manager, office manager, and your office manager can act as a production manager. At the beginning, you can teach them how to do everything. I will tell you, an office manager is one of the few positions that I will say that experience does matter. And it doesn't matter if they've done a construction company before or if they've worked in a office where they were doing, maybe it was a medical office or a doctor's office or a dentist's office, whatever. A lot of times an office manager is an office manager, and it doesn't matter what industry they're in. There's some small differences they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn the language of the new industry, but I will say that the office manager is the one position you could hire, and people with experience that'll probably matter more than any other position that you hire for, just because they can kind of just help you organize. Because I think most of us that are entrepreneurs and small business owners, what we're really good at, we're good with the dream. We're good with going out and trying to do something new, and we have a vision and a goal, but what we're sometimes lack is organization, and that's what they're going to really help you with. That also leads me into administration assistance. I, again, would not build out a lot of people in this until you actually need it. Right now, the way my business sits is we have two people that do admin full-time for us. That's all they do, is they do administration work for us. They help us find jobs. They help us bid on projects. They do any administrative stuff that we need help with. And we'll get into outsourcing later and stuff like that. You can outsource these positions to other countries. Now, an office manager, you can hire someone local that work in an office, or you can have it online. Admin assistants, if you've never heard of what's called a virtual assistant, I recommend watching some YouTube videos on virtual assistants. So guys, your office management and your admin assistant can be done outsourced. That means you can use people in Mexico, you can use people in Colombia, you can use people in the Philippines, which speak a very good English. A lot of this stuff can be done with what's called virtual assistants. Now, let me tell you why this is such a good idea about running a company cheaply with most profits. Let's say that you live in St. Louis and you hire an admin assistant that is smart, has an education, that is ambitious, all the things that you would hope to find in an admin assistant. Guys, you're probably, even if you live in St. Louis for an entry-level position, you're going to be spending 15, 20 bucks an hour on someone, just an hourly wage. Maybe you get somebody for 10 to 15, but most of the time this person is either going to be working hourly or they're going to be on a salary. And then you're going to have to offer health and benefits. You're going to have to pay payroll tax. I mean, it's a very large expense. You're talking about yearly just on someone who's making, let's just say 15 bucks an hour. You're going to be spending about $30,000 a year just on paying them on total employment tax and all that stuff that you're going to have to pay. The total cost is actually going to be about $40,000. You're going to have to pay somebody that only makes $30,000 a year. The other option is what's called outsourcing, and that's finding people who want to work, that live in other countries, that also speak English if you're a native English speaker or a native Spanish speaker, to help you with your business. One of our employees is she's a native Spanish speaker from Colombia, and she is an admin assistant for us, and we pay her about $500 US per month. Now, she has bonuses and stuff like that she gets paid, but she works full time. She speaks about 90% fluent English. She has an education, and she's smart and a very hard worker. That's called outsourcing. She makes, and for where she lives out in Colombia, she makes a lot of money for her age. She's her friends envy for what she makes, and we provided with an opportunity for her. Now, some people can say, well, I'm never going to hire from outside the U.S. Like, it's wrong to do outsourcing, this, that, and the other. That's your personal opinion. That's totally fine. I have no problem with it. I've hired a lot of people inside this country, a lot of people outside this country, and I'll tell you what works for our business and what I'm trying to get you guys to do on cutting out overhead, which overhead is unnecessary cost for your business, or overhead is the cost of just doing business for your company. If you want to keep it low, I strongly recommend looking into outsourcing and getting comfortable with it and hiring good people that do outsourcing. The other person who I guess is more of like the office manager, she's Colombian. She lives in Canada. She's married to a German guy. We pay her $1,000 a month plus bonuses, and she helps us do everything on the admin side. She helps us find projects. She's fluent in English, super smart. I mean, I can't say how thankful we are to have her. I mean, both of the ladies that work for us, are just superstars, and our total salary per month that we spend is about $1,500. Now, they do receive bonuses and stuff like that throughout the year, but together we pay them less than $20,000 for two employees that work full time for us. That are, I'm talking about they're smart. So that's an option for you if you're wanting to build out an admin team around what you do. Now, again, we have this little office space where we do co-working. We do 3 meetings a week. We do meetings on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. with our team. We do it virtually, and it allows myself and my business partner to travel. We don't all have to be here. We have our meetings. We communicate over WhatsApp, and we communicate over email. And that's just the way we run our company. Low overhead. So you talk about our office and our office staff combined with 2 full-time employees and office space, we spend less than $2,000 US per month.